Hi, welcome back. I'm pretty sure that everyone knows who will be the next generation to enter the corporate world. Yes, Y generation. We have been talking about this Y generation a lot, and I'm pretty sure that you all will be discussing the same back in your office. So, what's special about this Y generation? Well, definitely there are a set of people who will have a different pattern of thinking and a different way of doing things. Are they wrong? Absolutely not. They are just different. And this change is inevitable. It will come across all industries. And as professionals, we need to understand how we should start working with them. As the first step, we need to understand what are the qualities of the people of the Y generation. It is important so that whenever they come into the system, both the previous generation and the Y generation will have a clear understanding which will have an impact on the results or outcome of the entire procurement function. Based on some secondary data, I have extracted some qualities of this Y generation. First one would be high self-esteem, meaning the Y generation is very confident about themselves and they want to achieve results in a faster manner. They also will not trust the system or the process always, but in return they would question the system or the process. But if you look at it from a positive point of view, that could be a good thing for an organization, because when they come and question some areas, if there are any non-value added activities currently, those could be eliminated, which could be a good thing for an organization. This generation will value the balance between work life and personal life, and they will always strive for a better quality. This generation will be tech savvy because they grew up with changing technology, and they will want to do everything related to the changing technology, which they believe will be faster. And they will be a set of people who will be collaborative. So when they come into the procurement system within the organization, the generation would want their bosses to be very organized, open-minded, and should be experts in the respective fields. And the bosses should act as teachers, trainers, and mentors. And they should have a respect to the Y generation and understand their needs and wants and the work-life balance. Identifying the correct talented people would be a challenge, and retaining them would be an even challenge. So, as the management of an organization or a sourcing team or a project team, it's very important that we identify the correct people and make sure that they will be interested in their role continuously so that we can retain them. These talented people, they want to do something special, something extra, something more all the time, because they don't want to be same as the rest of the people, meaning the average people, and they would like to do something more so that they will get recognized. But we need to understand that they will be expecting something in return. These people always want to prove something and want to show that they are something special compared to the rest. So they always want to handle complex projects and make sure that the projects are successful. They will always demand for the basic needs and requirement which will be very critical to a project. If they are doing something continuously for a longer time, definitely these people will get bored. So we need to make sure that we throw different challenges at these people so that they can use their talent continuously and make sure that the project deliverables are met. Also, you should make sure that they will not get frustrated and move into another division or an activity. So it's a responsible of the organization to make sure and understand these people, their needs and wants in terms of an employee, and give the right or the correct working environment for them to perform. As we discussed in the previous slide, the manager of a talented team will have a huge responsibility in managing that team. As we discussed, the talented individuals, they always want to prove themselves. So they will be looking up at their manager as a leader who will guide them and give them directions continuously. So any manager who is leading a talented team should be a quick learner. The manager should quick learn, understand, spot, and then respond to these talented people. If these people come to a conclusion that my manager is not guiding me properly or not directing me properly, they will surely be frustrated. The respective manager should know how to be with the team and encourage them on a continuous basis to grow. Because, as we discussed previously, the talented people, they want to grow in a rapid speed. They want to go up in their career ladder. And if they come to a perception that their manager is not helping them in terms of moving up in their career ladder, then of course they will be frustrated. Also, the talented people are really fast in understanding, picking up things and moving forward. So as a manager, if you are behind in terms of speed, then they will be under the impression that the manager is not competent enough to guide this team. So, in summary, the manager should earn some respect from these people so that as a team, everyone will be happy. As we know, any leader should make sure that he is continuously improving his capabilities and competencies and skills so that he can lead a talented team towards success, which is very important. We all know that our current business context is changing all the time. Something that we did yesterday, which was successful, that approach might not be applicable today, and it might be quite different tomorrow. So, in the next few slides, we will discuss what are the changes that has happened in the area of procurement and how an organization should have a vision on their future procurement organization. Do we need to vision about the future? Is it so important? Well, the answer is yes. As we all know, the business world is changing every day. So the strategies that you used yesterday might not be applicable in the future. So as leading professionals in procurement and project management, we need to have a vision on where our future procurement model should be. Today, the competition is becoming challenging more than ever. And with the improvement and the advancement of technology, some strategies that you develop within an organization might become known to your stakeholders externally, competition, and to the market very soon. Because compared to about 20 years back, where something you discuss within an organization, today things get public very soon because of technology. So when you have a vision towards a future on developing a strong procurement team and a model, the most important area that you should focus will be developing on your knowledge. The knowledge development is very important. So, as professional procurement practitioners, it's very important on how we are going to invest on this knowledge development. So, the getting in of the talented people that we have been discussing in the previous slides would be your first step in developing this knowledge. And to make sure that you have a strong plan on how you will develop this knowledge on these people would be very important. The next point would be the basic principles of procurement and project management would be same, but the approaches that you will take will be different based on markets, industries, and situations. So you need to come up with new approaches in order to deal with these challenges that you will face in the marketplace, and those will be a very important component in your future plan. What we need to understand is we just cannot have one plan. We always need to have a plan B and a plan C, because in case your plan A fails, then you have a backup plan to work with. No one will be able to predict or forecast 100% accurately on what will happen in the future. But we need to take that challenge, we need to take that risk, and based on the available information what you have currently, you need to make sure that you plan something for the future, because you need to continuously develop your knowledge, you need to continuously develop your people, you need to continuously develop your systems, you need to always improve your processes, because those will be the core pillars for you to face the challenges in the future. So in summary, yes, every organization, every division should have a vision on how their organization should be in the future. Even the future could be a short term and a long term. And they should invest now so that they can harvest in the future. I'm pretty sure that every one of you all have been exposed to forecasting or predicting, because that is something the management wants from us, and that is something that we need to work also in order to make sure that we have a strong strategy team and a tactic to make sure that our organization is ahead of competition. Nobody in an organization would be able to forecast and predict what will happen in the future 100% accurately. Then if someone can do so, I don't think that he should be in business. He should be doing something else. So it is important for us to forecast and predict based on the current information and the current picture which is in front of us. But you need to do it in a smarter manner, keeping allowances for the challenges and the risk that you might face. So it's up to you to decide on the approach that you need to take in order to forecast and make sure that you will have a strong vision for your future. In this slide, we will be discussing about the 4 steps of visual thinking on how to create a vision for the future. The first step would be looking at your internal environment as well as the external marketplace. So you need to focusedly look on the areas which are happening currently within an organization to understand them properly. And the same approach should be taken for the marketplace as well. So you need to make sure and look and understand what is out there. And what are the limitations that we are facing currently? What are the interesting things that are happening in the marketplace or within your competition that might be lacking within your organization? And what are the important things that you all can adopt in order to move forward or move upwards? So you need to put some sort of an effort to look at these things. When you are looking, then you will see things that you have not seen previously the way you want to see, because you must have not been focusing previously. So you need to understand the things that you see within the organization as well as outside the organization. You need to ask that question, have I seen this before? Now, simple example, when we do process improvement in organizations, when you really focus and draw the process, it's something that you have been doing before, but if you really focus and draw that process, sometimes you will understand there could be so many non-value added activities within a process. But we have been doing that in the past because simply it's the way that business has been done previously. But if you want to really focus and then see what are the value additions of each process, then sometimes you might come to a conclusion there are so many non-value added activities within a process. Then another factor would be you will be able to see what are the patterns that are emerging within the marketplace. The information that you get will show you these patterns. And you will be able to see by looking at the trends what are standing out currently. Example, there could be a competitor who could be number 4 in the marketplace 2 years back, but they have become number 2. That's a fact. But what drove him to become number 2? That is what we need to understand. And then you need to see what's missing within your organization, something that might be available in the marketplace and your competitors are using that, but it might be missing in your organization. So first you have to look, then you have to see and understand. And the next step would be you need to imagine, what if I manipulate these patterns? What if I can adopt some interesting things which are happening in the marketplace internally? What are the gaps that you see internally and how can I fill these gaps? Or have I seen enough, or do I need to go out to the marketplace and look for more information? And then as the last step, you would come and decide on how we are going to move towards the future. It will show us how we need to plan ourselves, how do we need to set up ourselves, and it will also give you a picture, what should I expect next? So in today's business world, I know everyone is firefighting, there's a rat race, but if you want to really focus and develop something, you need to focus on those. You need to come up with a fresh mind. You need to think out of the box, and you need to follow the 4 steps of visual thinking. First, focusedly look, then see and understand, then imagine, and then come up with a plan. So, when we talk about visioning about our future, just think about what business and procurement and supply chain was about 30 years back. The concept of supply chain management or even procurement was even unheard back in 1970s. But in today's business world, these concepts have become core activities, and the contribution that it gives back to the organization is huge. So the leaders of organizations have today understood the importance of these concepts and the core activities, and they are giving more prominence for that. What is the reason for that? One of the main reasons could be the rise of professional managers on the respective areas from 1960s, I would say. And if you look at the about 30 years back, things have evolved. Things have evolved in a way that sometimes businesses wouldn't have expected. If you take an example, in 1980s, about the demand, it was just in time. So you want something, you just in time, you get those stuff. Then in about 1990s, the basic strategy was about outsourcing and offshoring. In 2000s, you saw the emergence of IT solutions, all the softwares coming in, the applications. In 2010s, it's all about risk. Because you have developed so far, what will be the risk that you are facing right now, and what will be the risk that you will be facing in the future. So if you take all these together, what we can see is from 1960s, the business world has been forecasting, predicting, or having a vision, and the business world also has changed a lot, sometimes than expected. So by looking at all these facts, it's very important for us to foresee what will happen tomorrow and plan for it. In this slide, we will be discussing on key 5 global trends that we see in the marketplace and how that will impact our business. The first one would be the increasing focus on corporate social responsibility. We have gone through this in detail in one of our previous slides. So in summary, what it says that every organization who are in business should make sure that they will have to understand how their business is impacting the society and the environment, and they have to act in a responsible way. There could be so many things changing in the business world, and an organization will be focusing on their triple bottom line and on their financial targets and strategies, but it's very important that they also focus on green and make sure that they will act as a socially responsible organization in the marketplace. The second fact could be the technological advances which are happening in the marketplace. So as we all know, the technology is developing every time, it's getting advanced, and we see that in some organizations, especially in financial sectors, bots are replacing humans to make sure that the work is done in an efficient way. So that's one example I would take. Similarly, you will see a lot of ERP systems, applications, digitization initiatives happening all around. Because every organization needs to invest on those, otherwise they will be left behind in the marketplace. So all these changes are happening in the technology world and which is impacting, and we need to understand how that will impact our business, how that will impact a sourcing strategy, how that will impact a project management. For example, any person who has learned project management, say between 2000 to 2010, and who has gone through the PMBOK, they have learned the traditional way of doing project management, the 12 sections of the PMBOK. But things could have slightly changed in today's business world. If you are looking at a project here, in today's world, we are talking about agile. And this agile concepts was linked to the PMBOK after 2010. Back in those days, we never spoke about the responsibility of a Scrum Master. But today, a Scrum Master's role and responsibility is very important. So we need to understand the changes which are happening from a technological and a project management point of view, and we need to understand how that's going to impact our business. The third point could be the geopolitical and the macroeconomic changes that are happening in the world. So there has been a lot of changes and shift in the global markets, and they're changing. The demand and the consumption patterns are changing. And if you see, in today's world, the youth is demanding for completely different products and services. And that has a direct impact on any organization. Then you have the changing demographics, the declining birth rates, the aging population, the migration patterns. So all these will have an impact on an organization when they are planning something for their future. And the last point could be the shift in the economic center of gravity, meaning demand in the mature markets in the developed economies of the world are slowing down, while the developing markets and economics, they are growing. For an example, about 20 years back or 15 years back, if you ask who are the strong markets or the strong countries in the world, people would say United States, European countries, then we had Japan, Middle East for somewhat because of their oil reserves. But in today's world, out of nowhere, we have seen countries like China, countries like India, countries like Myanmar, they have emerged. So when we are developing or planning our businesses, we need to consider all these facts which are important.